Hi guys, and welcome back to the No Gluten Zone. I create content for people with what I call food issues, and that could be sensitivities, intolerances, allergies, autoimmune conditions, or other conditions that affect your diet. Today, I wanted to talk about infertility. I feel like it is such a common thing, and sometimes people are afraid to talk about it. Sometimes there's shame. There's just a lot of emotions locked up with it. Hi guys, I wanted to interrupt your previously scheduled video just for one moment and ask for a big favor. So I've had a goal all along to hit 500 subscribers for my channel, and I recently hit 400, and it just makes it feel so close. I'm almost there. So I wanted to ask if you would consider subscribing. It is free. Just click the subscribe. And if you want to be notified of future uploads of videos, you can hit the bell icon. I would so appreciate it. And if you're watching this video at some point in the future when I already have beyond 500 subscribers, then I would still appreciate your subscription, because I guarantee you I have some new updated goal at that time. So I so appreciate each and every one of my subscribers and viewers. And I just wanted to ask for this favor. And also, if you hit the thumbs up or thumbs down, just to show me what you like to see, it helps me plan future videos and that sort of thing. So thank you so much. And now back to your video. So when I was young, like a teenager, I had really painful periods. I had a lot of problems. They told me as a teenager that I probably had endometriosis. They told me that I had a tilted uterus. As time went on, and I was like a young adult, they said that I would probably have a hard time conceiving and carrying a child to full term. And then I did not get married until I was 32. Got married kind of late, at least for my generation. I feel like these younger generations are getting married a lot later, but for my generation, I'm Gen X, it was late to have your first marriage at 32, but I did. And so I obviously was not trying to conceive before that. Okay, so the weird thing is most people are really bothered by like infertility issues. I honestly felt like there was a reason, and that maybe I just wouldn't be a good mother, and God knew that. I honestly felt like there's a reason behind it. And so when I got married, I got 2 stepkids as part of the deal. It was like a package deal, right? Like 3 for the price of 1, right? But when I got married, my husband did offer. He did say, like, look, I have 2 kids, but you don't have your own. So if that's something you want, he was willing to do like infertility type stuff. And so I shared with him that I really felt like, for me, no judgment on anybody. This is just, we all have to make our own decisions from where we are in life. And for me, I felt like doing infertility treatments, I could be forcing things that shouldn't be forced. I felt like if God wanted me to have a child, he would give me a child. And I was okay if he didn't want me to, because he knows better than I do. And so I was trusting in that. And I had total peace in that, honestly. I was having more and more painful ovarian cysts. I was at the doctor's a lot. I was having like tons of ultrasounds looking at that. And I was told I probably had PCOS. And then I had finished all of my college, and I had gained a few pounds, not a lot, but a few. And I had never done like an actual diet before. I had never struggled with my weight, but I was like, you know what? I'll try this diet and see if I can lose these pounds. Even though I was like a very healthy weight, I just wanted to lose a little and fit in my clothes better, instead of like just having to buy all new clothes, right? So I was looking at it from that perspective too. And so I got the book for the South Beach diet, and I read it, and I was a little nervous because I was like, man, I have never given up carbs. Can't imagine like having no carbs. This is kind of crazy. I was a little like, first I was like, I can't do this.
And then I got kind of mad at myself. How can I say I can't do that? Like, of course I can do that. Food doesn't control me. I need to be the one in control. So I took it as a challenge. And I will say it was hard and I felt pretty miserable in the beginning. And people were telling me, oh, that's got to be like caffeine withdrawal. I don't have caffeine. I'm caffeine free. I'm full on sugar and carb withdrawal. I was dizzy. I was sick. It was crazy. And so I took it as a challenge and I actually felt so much better when I went on the South Beach diet. It was the first time in my life I had ever given up gluten. This was back in my mid 30s. I had no idea. I was not diagnosed with celiac until I was 40. So, no clue that I had celiac at this time. And I'm giving up the gluten. And I was keeping track. I was kind of like, yeah, I could see a difference at the end of it when you're reintroducing. I was like, yeah, wheat does not make me feel good. And I had actually completely given up everything except I did go back to tortillas. I liked having like wraps, especially instead of a sandwich because I wasn't doing bread. And so I was just doing like, buying tortillas and doing like turkey wraps and stuff for lunch. I was doing like a lot of big salads like as a meal. I liked that. I learned that from the diet and I really liked it. And I still incorporate a lot from that diet. The big ones being if you are eating carbs, you want to eat fat or fiber or both with it. That slows down your absorption of the carbs. That was something huge that I learned in that diet. My point is, this was the first time in my life I had ever given up gluten, and I ended up pregnant with all my infertility issues. This was when I ended up pregnant with my son. And I firmly believe it was because I was off of gluten. I have shared this with so many people who are struggling with infertility, and a lot of them are so desperate that they're like, I'm going to give up gluten and see what happens. And I would say at least half of those people have come back to me and told me that it worked, that they were then able to get pregnant. So I'm not saying all of these people have celiac disease, but I do think gluten's it's inflammatory. It could be causing some sort of issue in there. Or maybe they do have undiagnosed celiac. I don't know. But if you are struggling with infertility, my recommendation is always to look at your diet, pull gluten. What's it going to hurt? We don't have a need for gluten. Like there's no gluten deficiency. So like it's okay to not have gluten, do it for like 6 months, a year, and just see what happens to your health overall. You might have another health breakthrough, not fertility, but something else. So that's just my recommendation always, to at least consider that and try that if you are struggling with infertility and really wanting to have a child. And I will say that being gluten-free, I like all of those female GYN issues disappeared. The endometriosis symptoms, the difficult periods, all the ovarian cysts like faded away. All of that stuff faded away, which was pretty amazing. So not just fertility, but if you have, gynecological issues of any sort, definitely I would suggest giving up gluten and seeing what happens. That's all. One final word. There are a lot of people struggling with heavy menstrual bleeding. And I went through that after my son was born. And I found later it was because I lost a lot of iron during pregnancy and then birth. And so my iron was completely depleted. And so you want to check your ferritin level and you want to get it over 100 if you're having heavy periods. So low ferritin will cause heavy menstrual bleeding. And then heavy menstrual bleeding is going to continue the low ferritin because you're losing it in your blood. So it's like a catch-22. You're in this vicious cycle and it's hard to get out of. So my only thing that I could tell you is to get that checked and push for iron infusions, because iron infusions will bring it up rapidly. You can take iron pills, but it takes a long time of being consistent with the pills. It's probably going to take a couple years at least. But iron infusions, you can get it up really fast. And then I encourage you to take iron pills just to maintain. So some people get infusions and then they don't take pills and they end up dropping again. But in case you're here for the GYN issue of heavy menstrual bleeding, I encourage you, that might not be a gluten thing, but it's for sure going to be a low ferritin thing, iron deficiency thing. And I have been through that. So I encourage you to get that checked too. And you can also refer back to my iron deficiency video for help with that. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope you are well or getting well. And have a great day, guys, and God bless you.